Sulangana, 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 wenukhalela Sulangana, 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 wenukhalela Sulangana.
Good afternoon, boys. Today I'm going to read 2 short readings from Proverbs. And the first one will probably make you think of somebody very special in your own life, and that is your mother. It is from Proverbs 3, verse 15. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. The second one tells us more about a woman's strength. It is from Proverbs 31, verse 25. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. Here ends today's reading.
My mom has influenced me in a good way. My mom is the founder of TTRO, the training room online. My mom's company helps people who cannot afford or have not been able to go to school by creating an online platform where all they need is a mobile device and Wi-Fi. My mom inspires me to help people like her. I also want to repay her for all that she has done for me and to carry on in her footsteps so that nobody goes without education ever again. I am thankful that she has put a roof over my head and has kept my stomach full with food and water. My mom is the greatest mom in the world to me.
The woman that I admire the most is the same woman that changed my life in many different ways. It's the same woman that makes me read half an hour every day, or play outside every hour. This woman is my mother. Since I can remember, my mother has always been there for me, trying to make me smile every day. I think without my mother, I wouldn't be the same person as I am now. I mean, dads are great, but without our moms, we would never have done our homework or extra meals. We don't realize how much our moms do for us and how much they have sacrificed for us. Thank you, Mom.
Precious, extraordinary, inspiring. Wise, loving, comforting. A perfect blend of all. Open arms ready to give warm hugs. A smile that lets me know I'm unconditionally loved. Generous, gentle, genial. Graceful and elegant as a gazelle. I hate saying farewell. Kindness in her eyes, lines on her face, tell tales of time gone by. Indelible memories that never erase, talented in every realm. Bedtime fables that never underwhelm. Endless energy, ever ready to whip up spectacular culinary cuisines, which I especially miss during quarantine. A rock, a survivor, a warrior. Her humility is never a foreigner. Her wise advice has shaped my life. I'm proud to call her grandma on this journey of life.
My mom has really influenced my life. She's taught me to always be a listener and a good one. She has really taught me not to always be handed opportunities and work hard to get them, big or small. She has also taught me that being in bed will never get me anywhere. She has gotten me through the worst of the worst and the best of the best and had to put up with me for basically her whole life. She is the strongest woman I have ever known. I love you and thank you.
The most influential person to me is my mom. She is passionate, brave, kind, inspiring, and smart. She always aspires to be the best person she can be. And when I'm an adult, I want to be a lot like her. I love my mom a lot, and she's raised me to be the person I am today.
My female influencer is my mom. My mom's name is Joanne. I chose her to write this paragraph about because she is the most amazing mom in the world. My mom is not only the most amazing mother in the world, but she is also the most amazing and strong woman in the world. My mom has not only gone through hard times, but she has brought me and my brother up on her own, which has encouraged my brother and I to believe that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. My mom has influenced me to never give up and to keep your head up, meaning that if something bad happens, don't get upset about it, keep your head up and try something new and learn from your mistakes.
One night, in a dusty South African village, a baby was crying so loudly that none of the other villagers could sleep. Two boys hid under blankets trying to muffle the noise, while their mother, Ayanda, sang the lullaby, Tula Tu, Tula Sana, to try and soothe their new baby. Tula Tu, Tula Sana, Tula Mtwana, Tuluma muzobuya eguseni. When it was time for the baby to be named, Ayanda called her Tulisile, she who made things quiet. And from that day on, as if by magic, Tuli was quiet.
Tuli was a peaceful girl with wide eyes that took in the world around her. Her mother was glad that she had a calm and content child, a relief from Tuli's two noisy older brothers.
As Tuli grew, she realized that when she was quiet, people behaved as if she wasn't there. But she was there, and she noticed things that others might have missed. She saw the woman next door roll her eyes when her husband spoke. She saw her mother's sadness when she looked at the photograph of Tuli's father, who worked far away. She also saw her brothers take money out of her mother's purse without asking.
Tuli's brothers were mean. Her youngest brother liked to push her and call her names, while the older brother would laugh and threaten to hit her if she told on them. She didn't tell. She thought that this was just the way things were.
One day, as they walked past the spaza shop on the way home from school, Tuli's brothers decided to steal sweets. They told Tuli to steal sweets too. Tuli would not steal and quietly watched them fill their pockets. Outside, her brothers asked her for her share of stolen sweets. Instead, she showed them her empty pockets. Her brothers scolded her for being weak and then ate their stolen sweets greedily. Tuli knew from a place deep in her heart that it was wrong to steal, but she also knew that if she told her mother, she would see the sadness in her mother's eyes. So she said nothing.
The next day, her brothers again commanded her to steal sweets from the spaza shop. With more courage this time, Tuli refused. The boys laughed at her cruelly. To punish her, they led her into the forest and ran off without her.
Tuli was nervous. She thought she knew the way home, but as she walked deeper into the forest, the darker it became. Tuli was lost. Her heart was beating so loudly she thought that the trees could hear it. Suddenly, through the darkness, Tuli caught a glimpse of a warm, faint glow. She took a deep breath and walked towards the light.
As Tuli got closer, she saw that the beautiful yellow light was coming from a tree. This tree was taller than all of those around it. Tuli thought that this could be the magical tree of truth that the wise women of the village had often spoken about. She stood under the tree in its enchanting light as birds of blue, purple, and orange flew around it, diving between the big leaves and heavy seed pods. These must be the pods of truth the wise women had described. They looked delicious, and Tuli was hungry.
Tuli stood on the tips of her toes trying to reach for a juicy pod, but she was too short. Jumping didn't help either. As if the tree understood, it bent down towards her and offered her a juicy pod. Tuli grabbed it. It opened easily in her hands. Inside was a single seed that shone like a diamond. Thuli lifted the seed and smelled its sweetness. Thuli knew not to eat strange berries, but this felt different, and she swallowed the seed in a single gulp. It tasted better than her mother's moroho and even her auntie's chocolate cake. She was no longer hungry. The seed of truth had filled her up.
Julie wanted to sit for longer under the beautiful tree, but she remembered that her mother would be waiting for her. No longer afraid, she walked through the forest. What Julie didn't know was that the seed of truth had started to shine its light within her. The light showed her the path out of the darkness. She no longer felt alone and walked quickly home to share her discovery of the tree of truth with her mother.
Thuli arrived home to find her mother standing in the doorway with her hands on her hips. "Thuli," she scolded angrily, "where have you been?" Thuli put down her bag and tried to explain. She noticed her brother scuttle behind her. "Look, Mama," he shouted, pointing to the open bag now filled with stolen slabs of chocolate. "Thuli," her mother shouted in horror, "where did you get these?"
"Mama, we saw Thuli steal the chocolates from the spaza shop." The brothers lied with cruel smiles. Thuli knew that her brothers had done this to get her into trouble.
With a dry throat and a broken heart, Thuli walked into the house. Her head was pounding like a drum. She sat at the table and took a large sip of water.
The cool water rushed down her throat and into her belly, where the seed of truth had been planted and was waiting to grow. The light began to radiate from her, even brighter than before, and it lit up the room. Thuli's mother and brothers stared in wonder. As Thuli started to speak, they took a step back because Thuli's voice was steady and direct, filled with the courage of truth. "I did not steal, my brothers did. They must return the chocolates to the shop," she said. Thuli's brothers tried to make excuses, but they sounded foolish and weak.
Thuli's mother put her arms around her daughter. "I am proud of you, my child. You have spoken the truth and have stood up to those who are bigger than you," she said. As the years passed, Thuli became known for her wisdom. People were drawn to her just as she had been drawn to the truth. When others were lost, Thuli would guide them into the forest to sit under the tree of truth, so that they could feel the light of truth inside themselves and find their own way out of the darkness.
It can be hard to tell the truth, but when you do, the light that is inside you can shine out into the world. It frees those around you to tell the truth too. Let the light of your truth shine from within you, just like it did for Thuli.
Thuli and the Seed of Truth has been inspired by the work and the courage of Thuli Madonsela, and she was at the time South Africa's public protector at the time of state capture, and she was brave enough to stand up to people so much more threatening and more powerful than her. She was brave enough to tell the truth. Thula in isiZulu means be quiet, and even though this was her name, she found it inside of herself to say things in such a poised way, with such depth of truth that people heard the truth. And I just encourage you, if you want to be an influence in people's lives, tell the truth, be courageous. Sometimes it's very hard to say things and we're told not to tell the truth. But I encourage you to embrace a revolution of truth.
Let the sound of our voices continue to be heard.
Wathinta abafazi. Wathinta abafazi. Wathinta imbokodo. Wathinta imbokodo. Wathinta abafazi. Wathinta abafazi. Wathinta imbokodo.